Good morning. Welcome to 4x8 Paper Stuff. This is Beth, day 6 of my Missouri Star Quilt Retreat Travel Journal. And I just did a lot of little odds and ends. There was my little tag that we used every day for our, you get points for each purchase. And by the end, you have like $3.50 to put towards one of your purchases. So anyhow. And that lets them know from in the different stores that we are retreat people. So I think we might get a little bit of a discount. I don't know. Anyhow, I went through all my receipts and I was going to save them. They do fade. I know that. But I like the little dates on them, and they're all in different places, and it was going to be really kind of bulky. And so I just started using them in different ways this year. I'm trying to mix it up a little bit because I do have the same trip 3 different times in this journal. Actually, I think 4, because I have some pictures from another one. But remembering some of the cards I already made and some of the little cartoon things I got off of Pinterest about quilting that I want to add in here. And the Allie Edwards paper, the skunk that ran in front of my car. I've never seen a live skunk. I've always seen them dead or smelled them. I saw a live one, and he ran right in front of my car. Luckily, he was happy and didn't have his tail up, because that would have been a really nasty smell for a week or more. Sorry. So I did a little bit of journaling, and I like the way Allie Edwards is doing hers lately. She's adding different tips of pens, a broader tip and a thinner tip and a marker type tip. So I did that, and I was kind of just writing down what I got along the way. I eat very poorly when I travel, when I'm by myself. We eat a lot better when my husband's around. But that's because he makes me stop and take the time. If I'm by myself, I just want to get in, get out, eat something semi decent, not really. And I'm a terrible snacker on the road, and I'll just snack and get back to a hotel and snack a little bit more and go to bed. Uh, Sorry, I have a tickle in my throat this morning. I don't know what from. Anyhow, I used one of Cartier's coffee stickers because that's the main issue. Make sure you have fraps. I had a little bar in the back of my car. It wasn't really a bar. I had frappuccinos because they could stay in the car and stay cold overnight. I had little bottles of wine, and I had a fruit drink back there too. 1900 miles. I have a Band-Aid on my arm because I just got back from the doctor for blood work for an appointment next week. So that's all that purple Band-Aid thing is. Anyhow, so I wrote about the food, I wrote about the coffee, I wrote about the skunk, I wrote about the mileage, I wrote about all the different places all these ladies are from, and I have put this in other places, but I just find it incredibly cool that we're from all over the world, literally, if you count Australia. And sorry, I keep having this little tiny tickle. And anyhow, the skunk needs to come in here. Now, in hindsight, I I'm so sorry. I found a one of the little tags that I made that was black and white would have been perfect for this little guy, but alas, I didn't use it. But here I'm just tagging, what am I writing here? Fields and fields of no crops and Mississippi crops, and everything had been harvested. It was in between planting, and it was like, oh man, it was just miles and miles and miles of blank fields. But I got through it. It was flat, except for around the Ozarks and Branson, Missouri. It gets a little hilly up there. Anyhow, still fun, still fun. Probably won't do it again, though. And yes, I'm just vintage. You're right, Curtie. I'm just vintage. I'm not old. I just feel like I just don't want to do this. This journaling card is from Allie Edwards, and I just added and connected some of the other circles that were already there. And it says something like, love this story, but I just made more circles so that it looked like all those black circles were there. And then I put the little black and white skunk. Love this idea. Anyhow, and then on the back I put where he ran in front of my car. And luckily his tail was down. And no, this isn't him because I could not. And then I had black and white gingham washi tape. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to put that on here. And had grand plans of leaving a margin for the washi tape, and it's on the wrong side, FYI. But I come up with a design uh, opportunity and take it. Um, Anyhow, that was cute. I thought that was a cute little addition. Trying to just add tiny little bits of stuff that happened, like a skunk or a bear, or here's where I add a little bit of washi tape to the margin on the space that I left. Um, the neat little quilts that we made or started. Most of us finished at least a top of one. Um, but and using the cards that I made beforehand, using new stuff. I'm trying to figure out how I can use that one, but I haven't figured it out yet. Trying to use some of this stuff that I get from Allie Edwards in her story kits. Put a little star, which is not very visible, up where we were in northern Missouri. And I have some printouts from some of the hotels from when I first started out. And then I found this little thing that I made on Procreate before we even left. I left. So I keep adding stuff to this page. Pretty soon it's going to be the most decorated page out there. So I'm kind of just taking inventory of what I have here. And making sure I use a good bit of it at least. And try to complete as much as I can with what I have. Here's where I found a coffee card that I made. I had forgotten about this. So then I started cutting receipts apart and just putting like the name of the town. One was, oh, I can't remember the name of the towns that I was in. Holly Hope, Holly. One is Greenville, Mississippi. One was Holly, the one I have in my hand. Okay, Holly Pond, I think it was. And yeah, Holly Pond, Alabama. Some of the names of these little towns were hysterical. I think that one was that was Arkansas. I can't read what it says. Something Arkansas. Anyhow, I would stop and get gas, and then I'd get a frap either out of my traveling bar or go in and get a really super cold one when they had them. Sometimes they didn't have them. And I forgot I need to add these little travel signs, the welcome state signs, somewhere. But it just having a good old time incorporating color. I find that a travel journal like this can take a lot of color because there's fabric everywhere and it needs color. So I used part of that paper from Allie Edwards and kind of highlighted some of my favorite quilts that we did on the show and tell on the last night before we all leave the next morning. Mickey Mouse Irish chain is one. A strawberry one. I love the strawberry one. Oh, that was so cute. And when she has many squares, and when she puts them all together, it's like a little patchwork of strawberries. It's really cute. She was going to use it as a picnic blanket for one of her kids. I think that's cute. The little quilt that we quilted we all made houses last year, and the lady that won that quilt, and we had a drawing, and the lady that won that drawing then took it home, quilted it, and brought it back, and we auctioned it off again. And the lady that I roomed with got it. So and the lady that quilted it is the one from Australia. So it's been from Missouri to Australia and back again, and now it lives in Kansas. And I just find that fascinating. And when I'm 80 in a nursing home, I'm sure I'm going to want to know all that. So I wrote it all down. Just trying to layer the stuff that I made, use the stuff that I made. Very conscious of that, trying to use the stuff that I made or the stuff that I've purchased and not just kind of go with something else. Because a lot of times I forget and then I'm like, oh yeah, I could have done that or I could have done that. And I really want to use what I have instead of putting it back in a box somewhere. Here's my little tags that I made. And what did I was just, the one, the Mickey Mouse quilt, and then the other, which is called a log cabin. It was gorgeous. Not my color combos, but still gorgeous and a great pattern. And the Mickey Mouse one is just adorable. that was her first trip to Disneyland as an adult, and she and her husband, she's making one for her and one for her husband to as remembrances for that. And they're kind of like just big throws. So kind of cool, kind of cool. All the little stories that go with everything, that's the best part. The little stories, and I would leave the hotel about 5:30 in the morning. Here's what I wrote on the back of this card. Drive my old lady self style until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Eat something sort of good, and then shower and repeat every day. Actually, it was just 2 days because 2 days were easy driving, but 2 days were really tough for this old lady. So anyhow, the dog is by himself and crying, so I'm going to cut this one right here. And I'm going to show you the picture of my husband at the barber shop the other day when we went and got our haircut, and the dog had to go with us. And he was upset until he sat in my husband's lap while he was getting a haircut. So if his hair is crooked, it's the dog's fault. Anyhow, thanks for watching. See you all tomorrow. Bye.